It's a 10-letter word, leadership. It is defined as the ability to guide, influence others to work hard towards achieving the same goal. Hello everyone, it is Wednesday on February 5th. My name is Lian Atieno. Welcome to Top Notch Media, and let me introduce my fellow journalists briefly. Here we have Brenda Atieno, Brian Odhiambo, and Jared Quinn. Now, we welcome you officially. Stay tuned and stay put as we want to elucidate the Jkusa election process. Now, history of hiccups of elections in Jkusa. Before we had Brian Mutevu, Fidel Wandiga. Now, the rhetorical question that is bombarding our mind right now is who will take over after Fidel Wandiga, and how is that person organized? Now, let us take this opportunity to expedite the Jkusa elections, and Jared Kwe will open the forum.
Thank you for the opportunity. Under the Electoral Commission, under the Jkusa Constitution, clearly states that the Chief Returning Officer, the Dean of Students shall be the Chief Returning Officer, whereby this position requires no election. Automatically, he or she becomes the Chief Returning Officer. And then it goes onwards by the Chief Returning Officer may also appoint assistants to support him or her in their duties.
And do you think those people who are appointed, do they require the vetting process, or do they just come in?
Yeah, the lead commission. Yeah, let me go to that point. Okay. For sourcing for the committee members, the Chief Returning Officer shall source for the lead commission, that is 6 weeks before the election dates, right? Going onwards, the returning officer shall or the equivalent at campus recruit the commission and clerks for each campus. Okay. The Chief Returning Officer shall also approve the nominees and publish their names to all members of association. Yeah. The lead commission also shall chair the electoral commission as per the Jkusa.
Okay, based on what you've said, now we want to look at the roles of the electoral commission, and you will guide us through that also, Jared Quinn.
Okay, going to election dates. Point 1, as per the constitution of the Jkusa, election of school reps, election of the school representatives, hall representatives, and campus council shall be by a secret ballot, right? There shall be 2 days of election. 3 delegates from all electoral colleges in all campuses shall be elected on the Tuesday of the 6th week of the second semester of every academic year.
And who are those people responsible for electing the delegates?
Oh, those responsible for the electing of the delegates are the Jkusa members. Of which the Jkusa members is the students. As automatically, when you are a student in JKUAT, you are automatically a member of the Jkusa. That's what it states from the constitution. So the delegates plus the school representative plus the hall reps are being elected by the students.
So what you're trying to say, it is upon the students to elect responsible delegates that will give them the best leader.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Going onwards, election dates shall be done through a popular vote by a secret ballot. Ordinary Jkusa members who successfully applied, the ordinary Jkusa members, these are the students now, who successfully apply as a delegate shall not run for any elective seat in the student council now. Once you have been elected as the delegate, you cannot further vie for any position. Maybe in the executive you cannot. Okay. On to my final part. The Electoral Commission shall ensure that the second day of election takes place on the Tuesday of the 8th week of the second semester of every academic year. With that, Chair, I rest my case.
Okay, as you have heard, that's the process, but that's only the shallow part. We are still digging on it. Now, we have the election of the delegates, those people who will represent the students when it comes to electing responsible leaders. Now, the election of delegates will be taken through by Brenda Atieno.
Thank you so much, Atlian. So first, we are going to look at the requirements for becoming a delegate. And we have only 4 requirements in order for you to become a delegate. Number 1, you must be ordinary member of the association. You must be of sound mind, and you must have cleared the university school fees, and also must be of good conduct. And there should be no any pending disciplinary cases.
Okay, in that part of must have cleared the university school fees. You all know very well that first years and second years have issues when it comes to clearing of school fees. Now that means totally they are not going to be allowed to vie for any seat in JKUAT.
I think they are not eligible.
Earlier on, the chairperson had claimed that they will do a strategy, on how they can help the first years and the second years express their right of trying to vie for those positions. But we are yet to see. Let's wait and see.
I believe that also first year students and second year students have that ability to lead.
Yeah, that's true. And then to add again, for first years and second years to vie for these seats, I think there must be amendment of the constitution. I think that is the best way that can favor them. Without any amendment, if you find another strategy which is not within the constitution, that one will be going against. So unless they amend.
And remember, for the amendment to be done, they should follow as per what the constitution says.
Very true.
Okay. Brenda?
So upon there, we are going to the election of the campus councils and the election of the campus councils. Campus officials of the association shall be elected annually by Jkusa members, and they are normally being elected on the Tuesday of the 6th week of the second semester of every academic year. So the 6th week, on Tuesday of the 6th week of the second semester of every academic year.
Okay.
And then the requirements for the candidacy, we still have the four requirements that the delegates are required to have. They are still here. That is, must be an ordinary member, must have cleared the university fees, must be of sound-minded, must be of good conduct. And then there are other requirements needed for candidacy. That is, for instance, for Jkusa Congress and campus.
You can have that knowledge of leadership, but you are not good in academics.
Yeah.
Or am I lying?
True.
So, what if you have that inspiration or aspiration?
I think I can answer you with this way. What it means by must be a good role model. First, you need to understand that this is students' association.
Okay.
And you need to show that encouragement to the students that they should work hard. So the moment you are someone who doesn't attend classes, it means nothing to the students, because you need to encourage them. You need to come to class. Being a role model doesn't mean that you need to be clever. You might not be clever at the extent of others, but you need to be showing that effort.
So in short, academically discipline.
Yeah, that is it.
Because as per the constitution, is clearly it also says that one must have no any pending in terms of supplementary. So I was just asking myself, you might find someone is good in leadership, but he or she has got some supplementary. Not that the guy or the person is poor academically, just that because of the unit, 1 or 2, then you end up getting supplementary. I think next time they are amending the constitution, they might consider that.
Yeah, that's why we say normally not all good leaders are elected, because there are some reasons that come up that may not make them be elected. Yeah.
Okay. Brenda, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, now we want to look at the nomination procedure, and that will be taken through by Brian Odhiambo.
Okay, so we have the nomination procedure for these delegates. So for one to be nominated, a member will only be nominated and contest for one post in an election conducted in a particular time. So you cannot go there and then you want to vie for more than one. you want to be a delegate in a particular place, you also want another place.
Now
So
that is being selfish.
yeah, that is now being selfish. And then another one, nomination for executive posts should be at least 5% of the total Jkusa membership, while nomination for other campus council posts should be at least 5% of total Jkusa campus membership. So you have to be supported by at least 5% of members. And Jkusa members are those students. Yeah, so you need to be supported by that to qualify to be a delegate. Then the nomination papers of each proposed candidate must include the full names, respective registration numbers, and signatures of the proposers. They appear on the university identity cards. That is self-explanatory, and then nomination must be submitted at least 3 weeks before the date of election. So if the date of election is the Tuesday, is it the second Tuesday?
And the second Tuesday of
the 8th week
of
the second semester. So you have to submit that one. If it is the 8th week, by 5th week, a candidate should have already submitted the nomination that he wants or she wants to vie for being a delegate. Then the names of all contesting members candidates shall be put on university notice boards and all the university websites by the chief returning officer, who is the dean.
The dean, yeah.
And then after the nomination are completed after 2 weeks, nomination should be completed 2 weeks before election. So on the 5th week, as a candidate, you need to apply. And then when it remains 2 weeks, that is the 6th week. On the 6th week, the nomination should be over and everything should be on the notice board. And then the lead commissioner shall prepare and post on notice boards a statement showing the names of persons who have been qualified, as provided this constitution, giving reasons for such disqualification. So if you're disqualified, you'll be told why. If you have supplementaries, you'll be disqualified according to this constitution. Then where no candidate meets the nomination criterion, the electoral commission shall extend the nomination period for the particular post. So if one does not contest for a certain seat or position, it will be extended. And then once the election date is announced, the outgoing officials shall carry out their day-to-day administrative activities in a caretaker capacity until the newly elected officials assume office. So once the election is over, the people who are in the current regime, they will continue staying in those offices, but in the capacity of a caretaker.
Okay.
So until the new regime comes in is when they will take over. And then a candidate may withdraw his or her candidature by notice of withdrawal signed by him and handed at the place of designated for the delivery of nomination papers, not less than 60 hours before the election. So if you want to withdraw, make sure you do it before 60 hours of the election. Then the approval of notice withdrawal shall be public and signed by the lead commissioner, but not less than 60 hours before the election. Then lastly, appeal against disqualification shall be filed within 48 hours before election appeal committee that should comprise of the chief returning officer and electoral commissioner. So if you're disqualified and you've been told you have supplementary, the constitution gives you a room to appeal. Go and say that, okay, you disqualified me because of this. I'm saying that what the reason why you disqualified me is not true, and I want to bring the evidence, and here's the evidence that it is not true. If you are given supplementary and you never had that supplementary, you have the room to go and table that evidence and you will be heard. So that is the procedure, the nomination procedure for that part.
Now let us look at the election procedure after the nomination procedure.
Yeah, so after the nomination procedure, now we have the election procedure. So, and the election procedure is this way, according to what it stated in this Jkusa election. So Jkusa elections shall be, they shall be electoral college processes and through secret ballot by a simple majority system on a principle of one person, one vote. So there's no voting. If you're one person, you vote for yourself.
No revoting.
So don't, as a comrade, you don't go and sit back, then you send your friend that, Jared, I want you to go and vote for me. It's not allowed here.
Actually, it can't happen because those guys, before the election process, they sat down, orchestrated everything. So you can't vote for any person because your identity matters a lot.
Yeah, very true. For purpose of electing delegates, school representative, hall representatives, a simple majority system through popular vote shall be used. Election of the student council shall be done by electoral college process. And no one shall be allowed to vote proxy or by email. No online voting. It is physical. So you carry yourself there the way you are, and then you go one-on-one to the polling station of the voting. And then voting may be conducted via a safe online platform as determined by the Electoral Commission. So there might be online platform for voting, and this one must be determined or approved by Electoral Commission. They have to be aware, and it must be authentic. And then Congress is a conjunction with the student council shall liaise to create policies on the practicality of the online platform as well as standards of its use within 60 days after promulgation of this constitution. So in the first 60 days, they will test that online platform and they will see how this platform works. So before this is 60 days to election.
But I think
so that is 2 months.
I think physical voting is better because online voting, you know, this thing of
manipulated, right?
they can manipulate figures. You know, students very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think they mostly prefer physical voting.
Yeah, and then the chief returning officer, who is the dean and lead commission, shall supervise the elections with the help of returning officers who will constitute the electoral commission. So I want to talk about these returning officers. So for a delegate, you need to have that's agents. No, it's not the returning officers. Yeah. And then elections. So for a delegate, you need to have the agents who will represent you, so that it doesn't
and see the outcomes of the
election. And see how authentic. So it's made authentic and it's made transparent. You need to send someone inside the polling station, and during the counting of votes, this person will be there to represent you. And then the campaign period shall be 2 weeks. 2 weeks, strictly 2 weeks.
Okay, do you think 2 weeks is enough for the campaign?
I mean, I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a little bit.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Me, I think those people who made this constitution knew the reason why they had to put 2 weeks there. At least it will push you as a candidate for what you want.
Remember, also you are still students. So assuming we have put like a 1 month campaign, and remember you need
budgeting. You need to budget as well.
You need to budget as well, and remember academics still there.
Yeah, so campaigning is for 2 weeks, and we understand why it is that 2 weeks for the budgeting.
But in case of anything, they can still amend the constitution.
Yeah, so unopposed positions shall not be included on the ballot paper. So if you're only one person, one delegate, you're vying for school rep, for example, and there's no any opposition or anyone who is also vying for the same position.
In the last
that's automatic.
The last election, was it the academics or the secretary that went unopposed?
I can remember the school rep of SCDS, of MTAC. Is it MTAC?
No, SCDS.
SCDS.
But I'm not sure. Let's not based on that.
If you're not sure, just leave it aside.
Yeah, so, but the point here is that if there is no any competition, then you are automatically a winner. Then for the purposes of these elections as provided by the Constitution, the electoral roll shall be the university nominal roll. Then the chief returning officer, the dean, the lead commissioner, the returning officers, and the agents of the candidates, and their chief agents will present during counting of ballots. I've already talked about that. And then no student council position go so no student council position shall go uncontested. So all positions have to be contested for. Okay. Yeah.
Now we have the grounds for disqualification. As much as a candidate wants to vie for a certain seat, there are some things that may make you to be disqualified. Now, let me read it from the Constitution of Jkusa. We have candidates shall be disqualified upon proof of incitement of other students by the candidate to use violence, threaten, or ridicule any member of staff or students. Now here, this is where we have the real manifestos and the propaganda.
Yeah.
And propaganda can make you to be disqualified as a student. If you are campaigning, talk on behalf of yourself. Don't mention
that you know you can.
Yeah. Don't mention or ridicule other contestant in the name of you want to entice the students to vote for you. That one can make you to be disqualified.
Yeah, and then on the part of threatening, don't threaten it. You do know if you continue contesting, we will come for you. I mean, that is not, you might be disqualified for that.
Yeah, because that person can report you.
Yeah.
This one is very sorry for the interruption, Jared. This one is very important because you know the strong expectation of the students always lies on the candidate preferences. So if the candidate threatens others, they won't have that.
And by the way,
meaning.
if you are campaigning and you just started threatening others, it will just depict the kind of leadership you are going to give the students. You wanted to say something.
What about the on the ground of disqualification? Earlier on last year, we saw those who are trying to contest for the position. They were buying some sweets for the students. Now I have a question: is this part of the ground for disqualification? Can they be disqualified by buying these sweets for the students?
So I think if the Constitution mentions that enticing somewhere, maybe
it has not been mentioned.
So if it is not mentioned, we just leave it at rest.
Yeah. Now we have campaigners or candidates continue with the campaign when a member of the Electoral Commission or a candidate has the floor. Who can elucidate that?
So campaigners and the candidates continue with the campaign when a member of the Electoral Commission or a candidate has the floor.
Any hints?
Let's just leave it like
I don't understand that.
Okay. Violation of any clause under Schedule 7 of this Constitution.
Yeah.
Then we have the voting procedure. The chief returning officer, who is the dean, shall ensure that all members of the association at departmental level shall have access to vote for the delegates, as well as ensuring that all delegates vote for the student council, of which you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Then we have members of the association at departmental level, and the delegates may vote on production of a student identity card or appropriate identification as decided by the Electoral Commission. What if you don't have that student identity
card, right?
Can you use your admission letter?
I think if the Constitution doesn't say that, and I think it's very impossible if you die, it's true, because there's always that time. There's always that time when you join when you're in first year, they always register the students for the identification cards, unless you never registered.
Assume that you lost yours.
Because remember, also when you're passing through that gate, when you don't have that
700,
you can renew.
Okay.
You can renew the ID.
As for comrades, you better keep your identity card safe.
As a
that is what I can say. Where were we? We were at the voting procedure. A voting paper will be issued to each voter, which shall bear the university stamp, of which I myself saw it because last time I voted. Then votes will be cast in sealed ballot boxes. Voting papers shall bear the name of each candidate and the office being contested for. Voting shall be by secret ballot or a verifiable, transparent, and secure online voting system.
Yeah.
Then we have counting and declaring votes. Not yet. We will look at that later.
After the election.
The elections.
Yeah.
Now,
okay, at Lian, I have a question. Do you think a low turnoff of students of voters can affect the results? a low turnoff?
I think it can affect, because I remember last time I witnessed, and if you check, you would realize that let's take for example Kore. Kore has got, like, I think there are even over 1,000 students. There are so many, but you get that the delegate is winning with 60 votes.
Imagine.
That means a low turnout.
So,
So last time someone was winning with a very less than 100 votes, someone is a delegate.
Why is it there is always a low turnout? Why do you think?
Number one, I think they always don't take the election serious, the students, and they don't understand the importance of the election.
They are right.
just a minute. For a student not to take that election process serious, maybe the students saw that the other regime,
The previous regime.
didn't do its work perfectly. So maybe the student has low expectation from the coming regime. That is what I can say.
And I think also the campaign strategies can also cause an effect, because if they have bad campaign strategies, the student will think they are not worth it, so they'll just stay and not turn up for the voting.
Also I have another question. Do you think there is an instance or an instant where the delegates are being heckled by the students when they are campaigning?
Yeah, they are there. Of course, in every campaign, you must have an opposition. And they will try to heckle you and tell you, that's form of criticism. So they criticize you, they tell you that
and
need you to
should
do
that push you to vie for that post, or you should give up? Because they are the
leader,
only people who will give you that vote, and now they are heckling you. What will you do?
That is part of being a leader.
So if they heckle you, that is part of criticism.
Of leadership, by the way.
Leadership, they are correcting you that we need you to do, even in our Kenyan government, that those critics, and you can't tell me that when someone comes and criticizes the government, now the government needs to come to shut it down. I mean, that is just a way of telling you that we need you to adjust.
Or correct on some
or correct on some areas. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we need to understand the importance of election as a comrade. So, Jared, at what ground do you think that a comrade, or what importance should a comrade see by going into elections?
For example, as a comrade, failure for you vying for failure for you for like
to vote.
To vote, exactly. As a comrade, not voting. Remember, that leader that will be elected in that position, you're not the one who have elected him or her. So your voice or your issue that you want it to be represented there at the Congress or at the position, your voice shall not be heard, because simply you did not vote or you did not participate in that election.
Yeah.
Before that, when somebody is being elected or a candidate is being elected, not all students will give you the vote that you deserve.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, as a candidate who will be elected, it's upon you to represent them all, even though some did not vote
regardless
for you.
of whether they voted for you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another importance is that, sometimes, for example, these first and second years, I think this is the best chance for them to pick up this thing, go and vote. After voting, push their leaders that we need this constitution to be amended on this part that disqualifies us from vying for any seat. So this one is also important. Vote for someone who tells you that if I get there, I will look into your needs. You're talking about this issue of fee, eliminating you from vying. That is also another importance. So you push someone to vote for you.
To add on that person that will be elected in MTAC, I know it's a very difficult task, but we need someone who can represent us very well. Our studio.
Yeah.
Our studio.
As the media students.
Yeah, as the media students.
Yeah, that is true, by the way. So the person who is going to be elected, in each and every department, there's a lot of problems. So if you're going to be elected, but as a media student, you need to push for the opening up of the studio. That is what we need. I know there's sitting somewhere will hear us talking about this, and we'll feel like we are not normal, but it's normal for us. We have the cameras within the studio and they are old, and that is the fact. And we have the studio is just in its own way. So the person who is going to be elected, kindly push for this. And we know that the voice of the many always have it. Yeah.
Hope they'll take note of that, because we really need the skills.
Yeah, very true.
Mhm.
Yeah, anything to add on top of that?
I think anyone?
Okay.
So of course everyone will have the last remarks.
Yeah. I will add mine on the final thought.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brenda,
Brenda.
we are closing up.
What I want to tell the students is that all of us should turn up to vote, so that we vote real leaders.
Yeah, so for me, what I have, this is Top Notch Media. If you don't know, so this is always the student platform within the school. If you are a contesting candidate and you want a public relation, or you want yourself to be known by the Jkusa citizens or Jkusa members, we are offering a platform. So if you want to do that, kindly check on our website on the process of doing that on www.topnotchmedia.blogspot.com. So you check on that page or that website there. And again, if you want to be hosted as a contestant, you are contesting for something, if you want us to host you, we are also doing that. So we want to make this election to look more important on the face of the students. And then kindly, sometimes you watch, you have 300 viewers. If these 300 viewers, you people can subscribe now it will really benefit us. And that is the best way you can appreciate what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, I know maybe a contestant might be asking himself or herself, why should I choose Top Notch Media for marketing or for campaigns? Okay, these are some of the reasons as to why you should choose us, Top Notch Media. Number one, wider audience reach. Of course, Top Notch Media is a known online media platform here in JKUAT. So remember, we shall give you a good audience reach here in JKUAT. Number two, brand awareness. Your brand shall be known. Yeah, it shall be known within the school, right? Credibility and trust. Students trust us, and therefore we shall give them the correct information only if you choose us for marketing. And finally, it is cost-effective marketing. Of course, we are still comrades. We shall not charge you expensive. Yeah, we are cost-effective. Kindly choose us, Top Notch Media. Thank you.
Yeah, as we round up, students, kindly turn up, vote for your leaders so that they will represent you very well. This is Top Notch Media, home of news. Stay put and stay tuned as always.